Okay. A pleasant good morning to our vibrant seniors, the media, members of the Dominica Council on Aging, and those that are viewing online. So this morning we are having a financial workshop for our seniors. As you all know, it's Seniors Month, and NBD has collaborated with Dominica Council on Aging to bring a month of activities for our seniors. So let us stand for prayer. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for the ability to pray on behalf of those who have lived the years before us. We are grateful for their knowledge and experiences. Lord, we pray for those who do not know you and have never made a decision to accept you as a Savior. Give them courage to trust what you have promised, that anyone who calls on your name will be saved. Help them to notice their aging bodies and take immediate action for their spiritual condition. In your name we pray. Amen. So pleasant good morning again. So this morning we'll be having a workshop on financial planning, and we know that our seniors have asked NBD to give them that workshop. So we have with us this morning Mr. Brenton Hillier from Surgical Insurance, who will also touch on financial planning when it relates to insurance. We'll also have representatives from the National Bank of Dominica, who will touch on our online banking and mobile banking, and also budgeting and savings, debt management, financial protection, and tips for refinancing and mortgage payments. My apologies. So let us welcome Mr. Brenton Hillier from Surgical Insurance. Before we start, let's welcome Mrs. Ophelia Murray to give a short remark.
I want to say good morning, everybody. Okay, that sounds good. I am here standing as the immediate past president of the Dominica Council on Aging. I was supposed to have been elsewhere, but that got deferred. So Mr. Lawrence, who is on his way out of state, has asked me to stand in for him and to welcome all of you who have responded to the invitation that the Dominica Council on Aging and the National Bank of Dominica has given to you. Some of you were already here when the bank gave one of the workshops like this, and I'm happy that people have come back. It means that NBD is really doing a fantastic job, and I think they deserve a round of applause. Okay, Mr. Lawrence said I must say welcome. I must thank NBD for recognizing the seniors, for understanding how active they are, how online they want to be. And we also want to thank you already for all of the sponsorship and support that you have been giving to us for the month of the elderly this year, because like us, you are saying we are older, not over. And nobody is holding us up until the Creator says we have to go. We want to thank NBD too for inviting Emonews, and they are here, and the people outside could know what we are doing here. And I would like to invite you to listen to Mr. Hillier and everybody else who has good things to say, because finally we are older, not over, and we have a lot of things to learn. Thank you very much. Put your hands together for DCOA and the NBD.
Thank you, Mrs. Murray, and NBD is very happy to collaborate with the Dominica Council on Aging to host the Seniors Month. So let us welcome again Mr. Brenton Hillier from Surgical Insurance. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Wow, you all have so much energy. Sometimes when I present to young groups and I say good morning, you hear maybe one or two persons, and I have to ask them if they had breakfast. But clearly, you all have a lot of energy. And I like how it was phrased older, not over. Powerful statement. So I am here from Sagicor, and I'm going to be speaking about financial planning and sharing some tips. And I know oftentimes when we hear Sagicor and we associate it to insurance, we assume it's just going to be an insurance stock. I will speak about insurance, but then I am going to approach it from a holistic standpoint with the view of hopefully providing some value to everyone here and to also the listeners who may be on Emonews, and also so that you can share it with others who are not here but should have been here. Now, what we are going to look at is who am I, who Sagicor is, and then go right into it. Now, just to share some housekeeping, I have to catch a flight in a while, so I may sound like I am rushing through, but that's the reason why. But I couldn't miss this opportunity to come and interact with you all. I always enjoy the conversations. If you do not know me, I am Brenton Hillier, agency manager at Sagicor. I've been at Sagicor for about 13 years now, and I've worked both in administration and in sales, so I know what happens in the front and the back end of the company. I also do my part to give back to Dominica in different ways. So I'm currently president of the Chamber of Commerce. Recently became president of the Insurance Association in Dominica, and I've done other things to give back. I believe in giving back. Sagicor, our vision is to be a great company committed to improving the lives of the people in the communities in which we operate. Did I look at the screen? No. Because we live, breathe, sleep that statement. And me being here is just a testament of this statement in itself, finding ways to contribute back to the economy. If any of you all are on social media, you would see that every now and then I am giving back to some organization or some charity to try and give back. So Sagicor, its employees, its staff, that is what drives us. How can we help? Yes, we help through the insurance products that we provide, but we also look for other avenues of helping, like providing sessions like this. Just to share you a little history about Sagicor, we've been around for 182 years. Not many companies can boast that. And one of the most unique things about us is that, if not the only, we may be close to the only company that started in the Caribbean and branched out. We often hear about companies coming from Canada, England, Florida, and setting up branches in Dominica. Am I correct? Yeah. Sagicor started in the Caribbean and then they branched out to America. So this is a fully strong, supported Caribbean company that keeps on expanding to provide value as it grows. So that's just an introduction into Sagicor, who I am. But let's talk about this picture. This is us. Yes, I may not show the gray, but I say this is us because at some point, God willing, I will reach that stage. Retirement, getting older, is not for one set, it's for everyone. I often tell young people that you have to listen to those who have crossed the path before you, because that in itself is a success in life. It's a secret to success in life. Why? Because from my own experience, and that has helped me to reach where I am today, our seniors are always willing to share. They will sit down with you, share the stories with you, and there's so much information in there that you, in your youth, can avoid some of the mistakes that they have made. Am I correct? So we are all in this together, and if we have a society where the senior and the young work together, just imagine the power that that society will have. So we all, God willing, will reach that stage at some point. But in terms of reaching that stage, there are some things that we have to consider. And this is where we get into the meat of the matter. Now, seniors were described as age 65 and above, I know traditionally, but I think in current times, a senior can be as young as 50, based on what research has said. So some of what I'm going to share may apply to you, some may not. If it may not, and you know somebody that it applies to, feel free to share it with them. But things are changing in the environment to try to make it as inclusive as possible. So some things that were not available before are starting to become available for seniors. And we hope that that is the trend that continues going forward. So when we speak about financial planning and planning your benefits, this is where we speak about insurance. One of the first things that we may want to consider is health insurance. Now, the reason I made this statement previously, traditionally, you have to be under 64 to apply for health insurance. So it cuts off a certain demographic in our population, unfortunately. But we know that as a part of getting older, health insurance is important. It's as important for you as it is important for me. Sickness, illness, accidents does not occur based on who you are, where you're from, how old you are. And from what we have seen recently, it seems that like the young people are the ones that are being afflicted these days. So I was with some friends of mine, one is retired, one is close to retirement, and we were speaking, and we were talking about long life, and they were saying that just now they're going, and I laughed and I said, no, I'm at risk. Because when you watch the trend, our seniors are surviving and the young people are the ones that are going. So I am more at risk than them. But at the end of the day, health illnesses can affect anyone. And with retirement planning, it's good to have a backup plan. So in case something happens, you can get the attention that you need to recover. I don't think that we should be saving up for medical emergencies. Why? One, it's impossible, because we do not have that conversation with God where God says, I'm going to give you cancer at 65. None of us knows. So saving for medical emergencies is impossible. And two, in my opinion, I tell people, when you save, you should be saving to enjoy your money. If there are people that are going to take the risk, pass the risk to them. I don't want to save because something might happen and then I cannot enjoy life. Life is about living. But if you don't have those backup plans in place, it restricts the extent to which you can live. So if you are able, you should consider getting health insurance. I mentioned that at present, our cutoff is 64. But we are currently looking at a plan that extends beyond that. So hopefully those persons who would have been excluded before can now get that coverage. And if you cannot afford it, we will speak about that part later, you have to involve others. So in my case, my brother and I pay for our health insurance plan for our mother. At the end of the day, if she falls sick, it falls on us. So we put that plan in place to protect her and protect the entire family at the same time. And that's this sort of financial discussions you need to be having with your family. We have been accustomed to sometimes being silent about those conversations. We don't talk about it on the table, but it's becoming a real matter of life. Mommy, if something happens to you, what is going to happen? How can we handle it? Do we have the finances to handle it? If we don't, what can we put in place? In terms of planning your benefits, there are some plans, if you were on a company plan before, I'm not sure if you're aware, some plans actually provide health insurance until death. So when you retire, you can actually speak to your employer to say, hey, I would like to set the plan. There's some plans that if you were a dependent and your spouse passed away, you stay on the plan for as long as you're alive. So when we speak about planning benefits, you have to have those conversations beforehand as to how does this extend to me? How does this work for me? How can it prepare me for the future when I get older? When I'm not over, when I get older. Retirement plans in terms of what you use, there's the MRA, we have National Bank that has their own mediums available, and it's good that they are starting this conversation. There's surgical, so there are options out there. We need to start having those conversations. Life insurance is something you may want to consider depending on your circumstances. You can actually buy life insurance up to the age of 80. A lot of people don't know that, but that is once it fits within your budget. And where does it come into play in your life? Everyone's situation is different. One plan doesn't fit everyone, but based on your circumstance, you may want to consider things like, boy, if I pass away, will my husband be okay? I have to make sure that my doodoo darling can continue being happy and taken care of. Those are the kind of conversations you should be having, and that is where life insurance can assist you. And I put social programs there because the more options you have, the better. So if there are programs out there that are actually set up to assist seniors, you need to be aware of it. And if it's available to everyone, you should tap into it. Does not make sense that these things are sitting around here and no one is making use of it. And when you bring all of these things together, this is where you start planning ahead. So you know exactly what you are going to tap into. The next point about planning, when we reach that age, looking at our estates. Sometimes it could be creating the estate or updating the estate. Now, in summary, to keep it simple, your estate is going to be every asset that you have. Sometimes we feel like we don't have anything, so it does not make sense to talk about it. If you have a car is an estate. If you have a bank account, even if the bank account only has 10,000 and you figure that's small, that is an estate. Any asset that you have, whether it be cash, bank account, land, anything like that, stocks, shares, it goes into your estate. And at the end of the day, if you're no longer here, somebody has to do some paperwork to access it. It's very important to consider that because we cannot predict when we are going to go. And they even say that for us young people, we need to have a will like right now. Back then, that was not the case, but with what has been happening, things are changing, things are evolving. And the will is so important because in the absence of a will is where you have chaos. We hear the stories of who fighting for what, who thinks they deserve what. I have heard of cases that are going on for 7 years, people fighting for the estate. And we take those things for granted, and then we do not know the headaches that it will put our family through. Especially in cases where if you have family members or children who live out of state. So I know of cases where the children are out of state, the person died, they did not have a will, the people came down, started having discussions with a power of attorney. It was not enough. They had to go back to America, come back down, started the process of letters of administration. They were told that it takes 6 months. They went back up, and in 6 months, they have to come back down. That is 3 trips from America to Dominica to sort out an estate. So that is why it is very important to update your will. You have one right now. Anytime there's any change to your assets, update it. So your will right now said you only had a car. 5 years from now, you built a house. You need to update the will. After you build the house, you maybe got a rental apartment. Update your will. Because all of those things will come up when the estate is being discussed. Asset titling is key. Something that we overlook, and we see that in the insurance industry. Your name is so powerful that if there is an error in your name, nothing can be done. Some people figure, boy, doesn't matter, when that time comes, they'll deal with it. I have seen in the business, as I told you, I've been there for 13 years, a simple letter in your name can result in so much legal work to correct it. And we take those things for granted. I've seen cases where persons have one name on their social security card, you get their driver's license, a different name, and when you get the birth certificate to try to solve the problem, a different name again. 3 different names for one person. So now the question is, what name is that asset on? What name is that other asset on? And imagine the legal work that that person has to go through to try to sort out all those things. So you have to look at those things in your current state, and it's not just for you, but it's for all of us. And the last part about that is family meetings. I mentioned that we don't have those discussions often enough. But every family is different. Everything I say will not apply to everyone, but where it's possible, try to implement it. Sit down with your loved ones. Hey guys, I've updated my will. This is what I've done. So this is what to look out for. There's nothing wrong with letting them know. If it's possible, I know every family dynamic is different. But if it's possible, there's nothing wrong with sitting down with them and having those conversations with them, and also with your children. I've met people in the business where they flat out tell me their children already know who gets what. Laid out the will, they met with them, and they show them in the will, son A, you getting this, son B, you getting that, son C, you getting that. So when the time comes, you think there can be any headache and court battle and whatnot? It's possible. Everything is possible under the sun, but it would reduce the possibility of that happening. The third point that I want to start talking to you about, and it will be different based on your age, but as I mentioned, if you know someone that can benefit from this information, share it with them. With planning for the mature ages of life, key thing is starting early. Everything in life right now is starting early. And one of the things we lack traditionally in our formal education system is financial literacy. I've realized that the world have actually started making a move towards that. Right now in Florida, they have incorporated financial literacy as a course in school that you must pass for you to graduate. And that will teach you about credit cards, debt management, savings, loans, insurance. So you get out of school prepared for life. But in the traditional society, we often leave school with the fundamentals, but then we learn those things the hard way. A lot of people get into credit card debt because they were not taught about credit cards. Credit cards are not bad. Credit cards are very effective. The management of it is what can be bad. So planning early is going to be key. If you're as young as 50, you can start planning for when you reach retirement. But in terms of retirement, they say that you should start planning as young as, does anybody know? 18 is close, and I will accept that because the financial gurus say that from your first paycheck, you have to put money aside for retirement. So you are in your current age. It does not mean that it is too late. It may mean that your options are not as wide as the younger people, but if you have not started, start now. Look for ways of how you can put your money to work for you, what investments you can go into to prepare for that stage in your life. And that's where those two questions come in. For example, knowing that you're coming to that age, and if your house is big, I know my colleague Cheryl has said that several times, we build big houses and then our children leave, they go to America, and we are left alone in the house. If you know that that is what is happening, you can actually see the signs, because once your child goes to study, or children go to study, you get the impression of whether or not they're going to come back. So if you had a 3-bedroom house for your 2 children, they are both left, and you're left alone in the house, and you get the feeling that, hey, they're not coming back, start thinking about, should I sell this house and get something smaller? Because even if you have the asset, I'm going to say something that a lot of people may disagree with, and the bank as well, a house can be a liability. The banks will preach about houses being an asset and equity, but it can be the flip. Because if your income at retirement is not what it used to be, you still have to maintain the house. Every 15 years, you have to change the roof. It needs paint. Sometimes pipe bursts. All of that happens while your income is reduced. And if you have 2 extra bedrooms there taking up space, that's still work you have to consider. So if you know they're not coming back, goes back to the last point, have a conversation with them. Guys, are you coming back? Okay, well, that house is too big for me, so I'm going to sell it. I'll use the money to buy something smaller once I'm comfortable, and the extra money, I can use it to enjoy my retirement. All of those things cannot happen when you retire. You need to start thinking about that up to the point of retirement. Start making your plan long in advance. And in the same fashion, maximizing assets that you may have. So that's why I said every situation is going to be different. In one circumstance, you may not be able to make money from the house, but if the house is set up in a way where it's an upstairs or downstairs, they're not coming back, rent out the downstairs. That could be additional income to make you enjoy retirement even more. So you have to start planning those things ahead of time. The fourth point is reviewing your financial plan. I will keep saying there is no one solution for anyone here. Every family is going to have a different dynamic. Every one of us has a different situation, different circumstance. Don't feel because you're talking to somebody over there and they tell you that, boy, I just took a cruise and things are good, that you're behind in life. No, their situation is different, but you may have things in your life that they may not have. So evaluate your plan based on what you want to accomplish. When you review your plan, review it in advance. Start picturing the life that you want to have when the time comes. What are your expenses going to be like? And when you start analyzing those things, you can actually take steps now to prepare for it. So if I'm planning for retirement and I tell myself, I want to entertain my friends every month, then I know that I need to find money to do that. And then it takes me to the next step. For me to do that, what can I do right now to prepare for the future? Or when I reach that stage, where can I get money to entertain them? And then that can give you ideas such as I spoke about renting out your apartment. If you have skills, can you do bakery and sell cakes to make some money? If you have a lot of knowledge from the education system, can you do tutoring? It's available to us. The world is changing. Age does not limit anyone right now. On my team, I have somebody who is over 70, still working with us, still giving financial advice. I mean, she's not as aggressive as the rest of us, but she's doing it at her own pace to get that extra income to be comfortable. That is available to everyone. So don't make age make you feel like, what's the word we said earlier? Don't make age feel like it is over. You are just older and wiser. You are still in the game as long as you are breathing. I said that I'm going to be personally working until I die. So even at 90, we have a colleague in St. Vincent. He is 85 and he's still working. He drives himself, goes to the office, drives back home. So you can do it too. Once you find some way of making income, you can do it. You just don't pressure yourself to the same extent. Number 5, I wanted to touch on that because it is important and it's becoming prevalent right now. Protect yourself against fraud. As a part of your financial plan, you have to be very wise right now. Even for me, so yesterday I had an experience. I told you that I'm traveling just now after rushing a while. I got a message out of the blue. I'm going to Trinidad. And this person sends me a message. Hi, I'm the individual picking you up today. I'm thinking to myself, why am I getting a message like that? Because I'm going through an official group. If there's transportation information, I expect it to come from the group. So why is this person messaging me? Now, I'm traveling with 2 other people. So I asked the person, okay, so I'm traveling with 2 others. Is it just me you're picking up? The guy said yes, and that was a red flag. Because why would I come there with 2 others and you send transportation for me only? Now, that's happening to me as a young man. They're trying to target me. But imagine for you, where people try to take you for granted. So on that note, do not take anything for granted. Ask plenty questions. Even if people make you feel like you are troublesome, ask your questions. It is your right. When you go NBD and something doesn't make sense to you, ask your question. If you come to the insurance company and something doesn't make sense to you, ask your question. It is your right to ask every question. Review everything. Don't just sign any document they give you. Take your time to read through it. And in a lot of cases, if you don't understand it, get help. You don't have to do it alone. Ask your children. Ask your friends here. Ask a professional. Get help with those sort of decisions before you commit. Anything doesn't seem like it's normal, get some feedback before you just jump in. And the last thing I wanted to speak to today in terms of financial planning, I wanted to speak towards the future, maybe the possibility, maybe an opportunity, but using the association, council on aging. What can they do to help seniors with financial planning in the future? And some ideas came to my mind. I'm not too sure if these have been thought of, but I'm just dropping some ideas here. One, they say that there is power in unity, power in numbers. Now, if you go to an institution by yourself and you say, I'm a senior citizen, my income is not the same, I would like a discount. The answer is going to be no. Straight up, no. Reality. But change the situation and you come and you say, I represent the Dominican Council on Aging. We have 1,000 members. If you can offer us a discount, then I'm going to tell all of our members that you are offering a discount, come and do business with you. Do you think that that is possible? You have bargaining power through your numbers. Can you arrange for special arrangements? So I see that National Bank has a line just for seniors. But why does it have to be National Bank alone? If there is a utility company that we notice a lot of our seniors are still going to in person, can we negotiate with them through the Council on Aging that they create a similar setup for our senior people? That as they come in, they go straight in a line, do the transaction, they move out. Once again, the power comes through the association. The other thing too is, can the association facilitate transactions for its members? So is it possible where the association deals with the different companies directly, the members pay them, but through dealing with them directly, the association gets certain benefits and then is able to pass it on to its members? So through the power of your group and in numbers, you do have a voice. It is not over for you. You are able to negotiate. Maybe you could even go, I'm going to put NVD on the spot, go to NVD and say, hey, this is the size of our group. You know, the income is lower because we retired now or we're approaching retirement. And I know your bank has certain fees, but for us, can it be negotiated that you reduce the fees by 50%? Sorry for putting you on the spot. But just giving you ideas, that is the sort of power that you can get through working through an association to help your members plan during this current stage of life. And this is what I want to leave with you. What are the next steps? This represents the next step. I mentioned that I learned a lot from hanging out with people who were twice my age, even up to this date. One of my mentors, well, both of my mentors actually, no, three, I'm sorry, I have three mentors. All three of my mentors are twice my age. One is retiring soon, another is retiring soon, and then the third is retiring in 5 years. So that gives you the idea of who I bounce ideas off of. And I have benefited from it. Now, you can have that impact with people in your immediate circle. So in this picture, you see grandparents, children, grandchildren. So the next step is teach your children about money. Goes back to what I said here. Some of the ideas I shared with you, don't let it stay with you. If you know someone else lacks it, share it with them. Your children does not have it, share it with them. Your skills. The other day I went to a neighborhood for a funeral, and the conversation that came up is that a lot of parents are not passing their skills on to the children. Now it may be that the children are not interested, but it doesn't mean that they shouldn't have it. At least let them have it, and you never know, they themselves could pass it on to someone else. Or they could fall back on it at some point in the future. If things do not go as they plan, they still have the skill that you taught them so that they can bounce off of it. So teach your children about your skills. Keep learning. You being here is exceptional because it means that you are open to educating yourself, finding out what's happening so that you stay on top of everything in the world. Don't let that stop. Warren Buffett, I think he's 84, one of the richest people in the world. He says he reads a book every day. At that age, he still does that. The last one is plan with someone. So don't just do it by yourself. You can do it as a group, in your family, with your loved one. It is really up to you as to who you speak to about your plan. So this is it. This is what I wanted to share with you from a holistic standpoint about how you plan in your current age, or if you are approaching that age, how you start planning for that. I hope that it was of value to you. And right now I have to rush off. So thank you for having me, and enjoy the rest of the session. Yes. So I have some books from Surgical about personal money management. I will hand it across to you as I'm leaving. In case you like those things, if you don't, you can give it to someone.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Brenton Hillier. I must say that I myself learned a lot today about financial planning when it comes to insurance. And remember, it's never too late to start planning for retirement, especially when it comes to insurance. In addition, Mr. Hillier spoke about wills. And next week, Monday, on the DBS radio, we will have a program on wills, which will be hosted by Mrs. Ophelia Murray. Next week, Monday, thank you very much. Our radio program on planning for wills and retirement at 11 a.m. on DBS radio. So right now we want to invite our NBD representative, Mr. Zachariah Maxim. He will touch on budgeting and savings, debt management, and tips for refinancing and managing mortgage payments. So let's welcome again Mr. Zachariah Maxim. He's from the credit department.
Okay, good morning to everybody. Everybody okay? Yes. Okay. So my name is Mr. Maxim. So I'm from the Loans Department at National Bank, and I'm going to discuss with you this afternoon, or this morning, sorry, some aspects of financial planning to include budgeting, tips for refinancing, and managing mortgage payments. All right? Let me come in the center. So I want us to have a discussion. All right, not only me speaking, I want you to participate, and I want you to feel free to ask questions if you have any. Okay? All right, so to begin with, just a little brain teaser, I want to start with 3 riddles. Okay? So I'm going to ask the first one, and I want you to try to guess the answer for the riddle. The first one: people make me, save me, change me, and raise me. What am I? People make me, they save me, they change me, they raise me. What am I? Alright, so the answer is money. Alright. The next one, we have what breaks yet never falls, and what falls but never breaks. What breaks yet never falls, and what falls yet never breaks. Well, that one have to do with one. Okay, one more time. What breaks yet never falls, and what falls yet never breaks. Everybody give up? Yes. Okay, then says day and night. Day and night. And the last one, what goes through cities and fields but never moves? What goes through cities and fields but never moves. Roads. Very good. All right. Clap for her. All right. All right. So, like I said, I want us to have a nice discussion. Okay? So, feel free to volunteer and participate. So, my first question to you, can you explain the importance of budgeting and saving, especially in today's economy? Anybody? Why is it important to budget? And why is it important to save, especially in today's economy? Okay. Say that again. You don't know what the future will give. Okay. Anybody else?
I would say budgeting is a plan, and what they say, if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail.
Yes.
So you have to budget for you to have a sense as to how much money you want to raise to do what you want to do, and that is, it's always important to have a plan to be able to follow.
Very good. All right. Anybody else? One more person. Why is it important to save? Okay, so the told spoke about budgeting. Why is it important to save in today's economy? Why should you save? Right. So you're saving for the long run. Okay. Very good. So a budget. If you go to the next slide. All right. So a budget is a plan which involves expenditure versus your income for a particular period. Okay? So as long as you're getting some form of income, it could be your pension, it could be your retirement pay, you should continue to budget. All right? So some persons think budgeting is for young people only. But no, because if you don't budget, like she said, rightly, you're going to plan to fail. Because you have to spend that money wisely. Okay? Right, like Mrs. Ophelia Mary said. Okay? So a budget is a plan which involves your expenditure versus your income for a particular period. Now, why is a budget important? We have several reasons. It helps to create financial stability. Okay? So when you properly organize your expenses, you allocate that amount to this, that amount to that. It helps you to be financially stable. Okay? There are some persons, they have money and they just spend the money lavishly. Alright? We should always budget accurately for us to be financially stable. Because like someone said, you never know what will happen in the future. And you don't want a situation to come upon you and you don't have any money. Okay? Especially if you like me that like to ask people for money. Okay? The second one, it makes it easier to make your bill payments on time. Okay? I am a person that don't like to owe anybody, and everyone should be that type of person. If you know you have to pay your flow bill at the end of the month, you budget wisely, so when your bill is due, you can pay flow. Because you know how relieving it is to know that you pay all your bills? It feels good, not true? To know that you're not owing anybody. Alright? So it makes it easier to pay all your bills on time. It helps save for major expenses. For example, a vehicle purchase or even mortgage financing. Because there are a number of persons from since they have been young, you have a goal. You have something that you want to achieve. Even now at your age, you can still have a goal and something you want to achieve. And you can still save up for it. Because I have seen persons buy their dream cars through cash. How did they do that? Throughout the years, they set their minds on attaining that goal. They don't want to buy that type of vehicle, and so they save monthly. And when they had enough money, they didn't go to the bank for a loan. They used their cash to buy the vehicle. Or that's what we have. There's something called a cash secured loan, which you also have at the bank. So instead of channeling all their funds to buy that vehicle, they take a loan against it. Okay? Mortgage financing, sometimes to have that property you desire, you have to save up a little something. So when you save and you budget properly, it helps you accomplish your goals. Okay? The next one, which is very important, it helps to create an emergency fund. Because we never know what the future might hold. And I show you here that phrase about something you see. You can see somebody healthy and strong today, and then tomorrow something happened to them. You understand? And you need to have enough money. You might not have all, but at least you can have some to help you go through that emergency. All right? And then the last one, it enables a person to be financially sound for both the short term and the long term. Okay? So this is why budgeting is important. So I hope that all of you are still budgeting. All right? Because you have to ensure that you have some funds set aside for when certain things come your way. Everybody agree? Yes. All right, let's move on. So then, remember, regardless of how high your expenses might be in 1 month, okay, always factor a portion for savings. There are some people who think that savings is like $200, $300. No, you can save $20. Because remember, when you keep on saving, it's going to add up. Okay? There are some people who think that they only should save $600 or $1,000. No. If you can save 20 this month, save 20 this month. If you can save $5, you save $5. Because what is going to happen is going to build up. So it doesn't matter how high. Because certain things happen to you throughout the month. Maybe this month you had an unexpected emergency, and so you have to spend more money this month. Okay, so you have to budget wisely. That's where the emergency fund comes in. Because if you had the emergency fund, you would be able to withdraw from that fund to take care of that unexpected emergency. All right? But it doesn't matter how high your expenses are, always put some money aside for savings. Okay? This is very important. So then, we have a sample budget. Some people, they like to write down their things on their little book. You have a little notebook and you get your money. As you get your paycheck or your pension or your retirement pay, whatever you get, you have your little notebook writing down what you're going to spend. One thing I want to point out from that example, it is always good to have your budgeted amount and your actual amount. Because you can budget to spend $4,000, but you actually spend $3,000. Or you can budget to spend $4,000 and you spend $7,000. Okay? Those things happen. So one point, when you're preparing your budget, always prioritize your monthly debt obligations. Put that first, because we don't want to be in the business of owing people, or owing the bank, or owing an institution. Okay? So you prioritize your debt obligations first, which includes any loans you may have. You put that first, and your bill payments, because you don't want flow to come to your house and disconnect you. You don't want Dowasco to take the water. You don't want Domlek to take the light. Well, I mean Domlek taking light every day. Okay, well, you don't want that to happen. Okay? Next, you carefully analyze, which is very important even for, it's important for everybody. Carefully analyze and differentiate your wants from your needs. Very especially now. There are some things we can do without. Okay? But there are some people that like to be in things. So what happens, they do not have to go to that event, or they do not have to spend money on that, but because they want to be in things, they put themselves in it and then you're wasting the money. Okay? There are some people that want to buy a new clothes to go every function. But you have clothes in your wardrobe. Oh, I don't want people to see me using the same clothes over and over again. But the fact is you have clothes in your closet already. I don't worry, I can use the same clothes. I can use it today, I'll not use it tomorrow. Or at least I can use it to go to a function next week. It's my clothes. But when you see, it all depends on the mindset you have. Because there are some people that want to be fresh at all times. But remember, that takes away from your money. Okay? So you have to differentiate your wants from your needs. All right, but now, we should be spending money on what we need and not what we want. Okay? And then the next thing, always do a comparison between your budgeted amount and your actual amount so you can see the variance. So this month I budget to spend $300 in the supermarket. Okay? But I actually spent $500. Why? You know you are accustomed of buying one bottle of oil. The one bottle of oil doing you good for the month. Why did you buy two? Okay, she said in case the one. But remember, all along you have been buying one. But this month you find you want to buy two. Okay, you know you could have done with 3 pounds of sugar. That takes you throughout the month. All of a sudden, you just want to have a thing by fresh market and just put how many things in it. You understand? Remember, those things takes away from your savings. Okay, so always compare what you budgeted and what you actually spend so you can know where you want to improve. It makes sense? Yes. All right, so now I want us to do a nice little quick activity. Okay? Very simple. Look at these two situations. Okay, so put yourself in that situation and just share briefly. So you are the main breadwinner in your family. So you are the only one making the money in your family. Right? Your partner is currently unemployed. So you have a husband, but your husband not working at the moment. Okay? You have 3 children. 2 of them attending the convent high school, and 1 of them attending the Dominica State College. Okay? You earn $4,000 monthly. That's your salary, $4,000 monthly, but you still have a mortgage, right? And your mortgage amount is $1,200. I want you to prepare a quick budget. It don't have to be anything elaborate. Nothing so major. So you have $4,000, you're getting $4,000. You have to pay the bank $1,200. But you have 3 children. 2 of them go in convent high school and 1 go in state college. And you are the main breadwinner in your family. Buy your watch cheap. So I want 2 persons to share their budget with us. So just, you can jot it down. Everybody have paper or something to write on? Anybody wants paper? Yes. Okay, we have paper at the back. You want paper? And bear in mind, October, you realize I said prepare the budget for what? Prepare the budget for October. What happens in October? Not just Creole Festival. October is a spending month for Creole activities. You remember you have to buy your little wobble, your Creole clothes, and everything. Okay?
That's the only income, right?
Yes, that's the only income, $4,000.
Yes, I can't sing that show.
You can discuss with somebody next to you, and So we have 2 more minutes, and then I want you to share your budget. Just 2 more minutes, and you're going to share your budget. And make it realistic, eh? Make it realistic. All right. All right. Yes. So remember, you have to think of it from your point of view. How much you think grocery costs, bills. That is for that. Okay, 1 more minute. Are you ready? Okay. All right, so who wants to share the budget with us? Claudia? All right, so Claudia is going to share a budget with us. So let's listen to Claudia.
Okay.
All right, everybody can hear, right?
Volunteered.
Okay.
All right. So the first thing I did was to subtract the mortgage, because that has to be paid from the 4,000. The mortgage, the monthly mortgage payment. I removed that from the 4,000. Right. So I was left with 2,800. I budgeted 1,500 for food, because you have a family of 5 to feed, and with the cost of food today, I don't think you can feed your family on less.
Okay.
That's just my opinion. Utilities, I budgeted 300, $30 for the wash stove, $200 for Domlek, and $70 for food. I think it might be more, but I just did an average. Transportation, I assume they don't have a vehicle. So I budgeted, and depending on where they live, I budgeted $300 for transportation, which may be a little low, but I used that $300 figure. So I was left with $200.
So she was left with $200, eh?
Yeah. And I just left that $200 for miscellaneous expenses because I don't know what else is critical. I mean, sorry, Creole clothes. Because it's October. And Creole activities. So I actually budgeted $500, which may be a little high. So if I don't spend $500 on Creole clothes and Creole activities for October, I may have a little more for miscellaneous expenses. Something may cover, maybe something health-wise, medical, and so on. So that was my budget.
Okay, let's give Claudia. All right, let's give them a round of applause. Okay, you have a question for Claudia?
Yes, what about the 200? I suppose $50 can go to savings.
Okay, so she put $50 towards savings.
But we can't go showing.
But you cannot go? So they cannot go show. All right, okay. All right. Now, all what you're doing is carefully putting forth your budget. Because you see, with putting forth a budget, there are some things you have to sacrifice. I remember we spoke about your wants and your needs. Do you need to go festival this year? Is go to festival a need? Or is it a want? Okay, so Mrs. Mary says a need for her. Okay? Alright. And I think we have a group at the back who wants to share their budget. Alright, so let's give Claudia a round of applause again. Claudia and Mrs. Mary. Okay? And then we have a group at the back who wants to share their budget.
Budget number 2. So $1,200 for mortgage. Then we have $1,000 for groceries. $1,000 for groceries. Then $200 for internet. $60 for water. $400 for electricity. $300 for petrol for our vehicle. We have a savings of $200 and savings expenses $300. And we also put a school budget in case teacher call for something. We have $200. And with that, we reach a balance of $140.
A balance of $140. And that's for anything that might come up.
We saved the $200 already anyways.
Okay.
So
and you can put that.
We were thinking like, or we were thinking maybe we can do a date night, husband and wife, these days.
Okay. All right. Now you can put that 140. You can leave it there. You can put it towards the emergency fund. Remember that, because remember something might come up. Okay. So let's give them a round of applause. Okay. Now if you realize different months require different budgets, because if I had put that in August, it would be a lot more, because remember you're preparing for back to school. Okay, so there are some months where you might have more disposable income where you should save more. And there are some months, sadly, that is the reality. There are some months you just cannot save as so much. But you have to be careful how you spend the money. Okay? Now the next scenario is a... Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We had mortgage, 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
500 for school, children, school utilities,
Uh-huh.
school expenditures.
Uh-huh.
Also say 200. Hopefully to take up another 100 from it before the month is over. Okay? No, light 120, water 60. You know you try not to do the homework, so you must be GG.
Uh-huh.
That's 250 already.
Uh-huh.
And transportation time to go and come back, 150. And 400 for groceries, we have nothing extra.
So the 400 will take care of the family of 5. Okay. And listen to me. You notice what she said, and there's nothing wrong with that, eh? She said they're hoping to use the Creole clothes they made last year for this year. And there's nothing wrong with that. You understand? Because what you find some people doing, they spend money on things they do not need. So if you can still use the clothes from last year, or even the clothes for, okay, so somebody like me, I just save all my Creole clothes. You understand? I just save it. Once I can, I just save all my Creole clothes. Once I can use the clothes from 2 years back for this year. Instead of spending $100 and something again to make a new clothes. Okay? But what's your name? Say that again? Alright, Annie. So let's give Annie a round of applause. Now, the next scenario, I want to hear something different because we're trying to create different scenarios. Remember, all of us say we are different. Our incomes may be different. Our financial situations may be different. Okay? But if you look at the next scenario, Mr. Benjamin, you can just press the next scenario for me, please. The next scenario, you and your partner, everybody listening? Yes. You and your partner are both co-owners of an energy generation company. I didn't say dumb like, but an energy generation company. All right? You are both co-owners of that company. You both earn $10,000 monthly. Okay? So both of you getting $10,000 monthly. So that's how much in all for your household. So that's $20,000. Okay? Your children are all adults and they are all employed. So that means you're not responsible for your children again. Okay? But you have a mortgage at NBD and your monthly installment for that mortgage is $5,350. Okay, so you maybe have a nice house and your mortgage is $5,350. Okay? From that, I want you to prepare a budget for October 2023. So remember, you're not responsible for any one of your children. Your children are adults, they work in. So let's see how that budget will differ from the one before. That situation. All your business.
All right.
So the rooms with VIP.
Yes.
Anybody ready to share? Or the reason why you're taking so long is because you have a lot of what? You have more money to play with. You understand? So you see how the scenario is different. The first one, the money was tight. But in that one, you have more money to... All right, so we have to move on. So who wants to share their budget with us?
Mine is on a serious share, but I'm just going to cruise with that kind of money.
You will just?
I'm just going to cruise with that kind of money.
All right, so what's your name? What's your name? Angela. So you hear what, did you hear what Angela said? Angela said she would go on a cruise with that type of money. All right, anybody else wants to share? The group at the back, you not yet finished? So you see, you have a lot more money to play with for this one. But you have to spend it wisely. Because remember, you never know what can happen in the future. All right, so she was saying, with that budget, she would save around $5,000. Okay? And the rest she'll enjoy herself. And I can remember Claudia saying earlier, Claudia and Mrs. Ophelia, they said they will go to Creole Festival for sure. Yes. All right, and they will go in VIP. Yes. You understand? Because they can afford to go. Now, even if for them, even if the Creole Festival is not a need, it's a want, but sometimes you have to do something to release the stress that you go through. Okay? And that is also very important, taking care of your mental health. Because sometimes going to Creole Festival can be a stress reliever for you. Okay? You can just, since you have a company, alright? She said, Angela said she would go on a cruise. Because maybe it's that time she can afford to go on the cruise. You understand? She may have been saving for some time to go on the cruise. In your budget and in your savings, nothing is wrong from taking from your savings to have a nice little vacation. All right? Because at the end of the day, you want to take care of yourself. You work hard for so many years. You should be able to go on a little cruise somewhere. Or you should be able to go to a different country. But all of that can only happen if you properly budget. So do you see the importance of budgeting? That family, they didn't have to take care of their children. All right? All they had to pay was their mortgage and their little bills that will come up to around $500, and they had the rest to do whatever they wanted. Okay? So I use these two scenarios to tell you that everybody's situation is different. Okay? But as long as you have money coming in, budget wisely. Everybody understand that?
Yes. But still a little left, we covered insurance, utilities, or groceries, we bought a big cylinder for gas, we had a work on the farm, so you had a salary to pay him and $1,000. We also had a setting at our tree, and also there was a donation, and he put aside something for medication because I had a...
Right, very good. Okay? Now that doesn't mean every month you go to use the money to go on a trip, eh? Because remember, that is not a need. But what we're saying, once in a while, you should treat yourselves because you work hard for many years. Okay? So you should be able to go to America or to a Caribbean country and just enjoy yourself. Okay? Right. Okay, let's move on. So we're almost nearing the end. Next slide, please. So, senior citizens receive a lower income, all right, because they are retired. So they are receiving their little pension. It don't have to be little, but they're receiving their pension, but not the income they were receiving when they were working. Okay? So it is of extreme importance that they keep on practicing proper budgeting techniques. Because remember, the monies they were receiving before is higher than what they're receiving now. So some tips: manage your household expenses carefully. Some of the doctors tell us we have to eat healthy, right? But you know, eating healthy is expensive. Okay? Someone like me, I'm very young, but I cannot do without vegetables. I must eat vegetables every day. Okay? But you know the price for the cabbage now? As opposed to the cabbage before? Okay? It's expensive. It's something that I have to do because I cannot do without it. But eating healthy can be expensive, but you manage it carefully. And one of the things that will help us properly allocate money in our budget: do not waste. Okay? You know it's for you alone. You're preparing the food, or for you and your husband. The two of you alone, that in the house, manage it properly. If you find your husband is the one that wasting, sometimes he's pouring too much milk, or he's using too much chocolate, or he's cooking too much rice, or something. So, you speak to them and let them know that we have to save more. Remember, if that finished today, you can be buying, let's say you buy two bags of rice today, or for this week, or for the month. Next week you have to go and buy rice again. That doesn't make sense, right? Because you can manage there are certain things in the household, you can manage your consumption. All that will help you save properly. Okay? The second one, factor savings to take care of unplanned doctor visits. Remember, everything is getting more and more expensive. Okay? And like I said earlier on, sometimes you might not have, there are some persons who are very fortunate enough that they can call on their children to take care of their bills. You know that? They can tell their daughter or their son they have to go to the doctor, and then the son will say, "No problem, mommy, I will pay it for you." But there are some persons that do not have that privilege. Okay? And you should always try to be independent. But that can only happen if you properly budget and if you properly save. So you might have to you might feel a pain out of, there are some people that you see them today, you do not see them tomorrow. They just get a kind of a sharp pain out of nowhere. And then they have to go to the doctor, and that is costly. So you always factor savings for unplanned doctor visits and even for purchase of medication, because those things can be very expensive. One of the most sad things is to go to the doctor today. The doctor tells you have such and such, but that medication you have to buy it every week, and it's expensive. You understand? You want to make sure that you have that money saved somewhere to help you with that. Okay? And then the last one, budget properly for continued health insurance. Okay? So you can still have health insurance. Even at your age, you can still have a health insurance package, but you have to budget properly to pay for it monthly. So in the event that you need it, you can benefit from it, and even property insurance. Remember, you have your homes. Remember, we live in a country that is prone to natural disasters. You don't want when you reach retirement age for the your property insurance coverage to stop. You want it to continue so that in the event of a disaster, your property will be covered. Okay?
And you have to remember your grands that every time they have a birthday or something, and your children, you need to give them
Something.
check.
Right. So she was saying you have your grandchildren, and even your children, they might be waiting for something from you. Although at that time they should be giving more to you than you giving to them. But nothing wrong with giving them something, especially your grandchildren. You know, give them a little birthday gift or something to make them feel special.
And you make sure you do not sign the check so they can come visit you.
So she gave a very nice tip. She said, when you're writing the check, do not sign the check. Because remember, if you do not, they must come to you to see you first. Okay, so nice tip. All right, next slide. All right, so debt management now is, so we're wrapping up, is the act of practicing proper budgeting and financial planning to manage your debt. So when I say debt, I mean you might have some loans still that you are paying. So debt management, you want to practice proper budgeting to manage it. And what does that mean? The aim of debt management is to lower your existing debt. Okay? How many of you like to be under debt? Nobody likes to be under debt. So what you want to do is to lower your loan balance. Keep it low. That is the aim of debt management. And to work towards eliminating it completely. You know, a mortgage lasts for a long period of time. The maximum term for a mortgage is 30 years. So there are some persons, even at your age, they are still paying their mortgage. But your aim, think of that day when you have to give that bank your last installment. Think of how free and how happy and how relaxed you're going to be. But what you should do, whenever you get rid of a debt, you should always think of that money you will put in towards the debt, think of it like as if you're still paying the debt. And you budget wisely for it. Because there are some people, when they finish paying the loan, they were paying $500 every month. They stop paying the loan, so they just go to spend the $500. No, you have more disposable income, you save some, and you can put some towards something else. Okay? Next slide. So, some tips for effective debt management. Prioritize your debt obligations. So regardless of how excessive your commitments are monthly, always pay your loans on time. Always pay your loans on time. Do not owe the bank. Okay? Always pay your loans on time. Next, monitor your loan balances regularly. Some people, they just pay the loan, but they don't even know what balance the loan is. Some people, they pay the loan, their loan finished already, you know. Because they keep on paying and paying and paying. Monitor your loan balances so you can know where you stand. Okay? Where possible, pay more than the minimum amount. So if your loan is $500 monthly, if you can afford to put $800, you pay more where possible. Because your aim is to bring down the debt. Okay? Know your limit. Monitor your limit. Okay? And do not take additional credit if it is not necessary. Okay? So if you really need it, you have an emergency, then fine. But if you can't do without it, do without it. Remember, prioritize your needs and not your wants. Okay? Build an emergency fund. Improve your cash flow where possible. So you have your pension coming in now or your retirement money. But if you can make money from your garden, you do that. Okay? If you can offer some extra services to get money, you do so. Because the more monies you have coming in, the better you can manage your debt. Okay? Review your loan terms and consider refinancing where possible. Consider consolidations. The consolidation package always works better for the customer because you have loans at different institutions, but if you bundle up all those loans under one rate, you're going to pay cheaper. Okay? So you can consider consolidations to reduce your loan installments and negotiate lower bills where possible and take advantage of lower interest rates. Okay? So right about now, the bank, we had an exciting campaign going on from I think around April to October 31st, where NBD is the only bank that will give you a mortgage at 4 4.5%. You heard about that, right? 4.5% to build a house. You know, back then the rates were 8%, 9%, and we are the only bank giving you 4.5% for our existing customers and even for new customers. So when you see those things coming on, you should take advantage of it, because at the end of the day, you want a cheaper installment and you want to lower your debt. Okay? And the last thing I'll touch on before I leave you, you can continue going. Continue going. Yeah. Continue going. Right. Tips on managing your mortgage payments. Okay? And you may not be on a mortgage now, but you might have a daughter or a son or a sister. You can share that information with them. Okay? So tips on managing your mortgage payment. The first thing, pay your mortgage. I say that thing over and over again. Pay your mortgage on time. Avoid late payments and avoid going into arrears. Okay? And it is always important for you as a customer to discuss your financial situation with the bank, because the bank cares about you. Okay? If something changes in your financial situation, let's say you may be getting less money this month because of an emergency come up, let the bank know. Do not just sit and ignore the mortgage payment because you're going to go into arrears. Okay? And that means you still have to pay it either way. So whenever something happens to you with your financial situation, discuss it with the bank. Let the bank know so we can advise you on the best way forward. Okay? Then set up a direct debit for your mortgage. So we're speaking about salary deduction. Okay? And we speak about standing order. So if you have some monies on your account, we can take it one time as opposed to you coming over the counter. Because when you have over the counter, sometimes you will forget to come, or you will do something else with the money. But if you can take it one time, it's better. Okay? The next one, build an emergency fund. So we keep on hearing that over and over again. Manage expenses carefully through budgeting. Remember to differentiate your wants from your needs. There are some things you can cut down on, so cut down on them. Pay extra where possible, if you can. Okay? And refinance at a lower interest rate where possible. So our campaign presented the exciting opportunity for persons to refinance their mortgage. All right? So you could get the 4.5%, refinance your mortgage to take additional cash if it is affordable for you. So wherever you can do that, then you can take advantage of that opportunity. And the last one, review your mortgage regularly. Don't just sit there and just know every month you're sending money to your mortgage. Review. Find out what is your balance. See where you stand. Because all of that will help you budget properly and to save for the future. So everybody enjoy the presentation? Yes. Everybody learn something from the presentation? Yes. Yes. Everybody have any questions for me?
Is there a limited age where you can apply for a loan?
Well, it depends on the type of loan that you want. Okay? So for a mortgage at NBD, for example, we do all mortgage terms up until 65. And there are some cases we can go based on the person's type of job, where they work, the field they work in, we can go up to 70. Okay? Retired people. So it depends on what you want, if we can assist you. And one of the things that we can usually do, we know that retired people, they have what we call, they have a lump sum of cash on their accounts. So if you don't want to use the cash, but you want to take a cash secured loan against it, then we can assist you in that way. You understand?
Is that open to everybody?
It's open to everybody. Once you come to the bank, you sit with a loans officer, we analyze your situation, and we'll discuss the best way forward. So it all depends on that discussion with the officer. You understand? Well, it all depends on the same discussion with your officer, and it all depends on affordability and your ability to repay the loan. Okay? So remember, everybody's situation is different, but if you come to the bank, you sit with an officer, we analyze your situation, and we can advise you better. Okay? Anybody have any other questions? Uh-huh.
Or if I have to wait on another person.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So I recently opened an account at your bank.
Uh-huh.
And for the past 2 or 3 months, I noticed that $5 has been deducted monthly. So I met a worker and I was asking the worker why is $5 in pass-through. This was personal, I saw it in these signs. Like, why is $5 I'm saying the person who dealt with me should have told me that that was the case, that $5 will be deducted because I'm losing $100. Anyway, I immediately went on my account because I have another account at the bank and I transferred maybe $100 to that account so that it will not be below the $100. But I noticed that the account I transferred was from at $2,000 and the $5 was really deducted as well. So why is $5?
Okay, so I will, after the presentation, I will explain to you why. So I'll meet you if you want, I'll explain to you why. Okay? All right. So I'll explain to you why. So remember, okay, so I'll explain to you why, but I'll do it because remember we have to continue with the program. Okay? So yeah, we love the senior people. Okay? So I'll explain to you after the presentation we can discuss that. Okay?
We also have to investigate. We cannot just give a definite answer. We have to investigate
as to why that is happening. All right. So
I have the same problem, and then she gave me an explanation that because it's below 100. So you all took $5, and eventually everything, the balance was...
No, well, we'll have to analyze the account first for us to explain to you better. Okay? So something we have to be on this system, we can see the trend, we can see what is happening, we can advise you better. Okay?
So every time you can see the transaction?
Well, we need to be on the system for us to see what's happening. Okay?
But okay, let me...
Close the account and go somewhere.
No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. No, we're not doing that. No, we're not doing that.
Say something. The last time you all were there, I'm present, and I told Kendra the same thing. And she said she'll call me back, and she's yet to call me back to give an explanation. So I went to you all, I went to the bank, and I spoke with Miss Mena. And you all gave me a runaround. To be honest, I was a bit dissatisfied with your last month, and I said I think maybe because I am at Republic, but then I don't know, for some reason I came back to you all. But if one would give me some explanation,
Just explain that for you?
yes,
Okay.
one-on-one, you know, an annex, the shrine.
Okay.
Okay, so that's why I came back here, you know, because I said I finished with you all, you know, I'm taking out my money.
No, not to do that.
You know?
We want to be open to you.
Yes,
So
yes, I got...
before.
After the explanation from both of them, I was happy with you,
You
so
understand.
that's why I'm back.
Okay, so that's very good.
Yeah, so once it falls below 100, yes,
Yes.
$5 deduction. But we are working on
Because I
something
see on the
for
wall
our
there.
seniors. You all are special to us, and we know that, you know. Yes, so it's Seniors Month, and we'll try our best to cater to our seniors. So we are currently working on a solution for our senior
That's
citizens.
quite,
Okay.
to be honest, I'm quite happy with you. Last month was angry with
But you're happy now?
But now I am quite happy.
Okay, we are
And I
happy
say
that
thank you
you're
to
happy.
Yvonne
Okay.
and Annette.
Okay.
Okay.
Welcome.
All right, guys. So thank you for listening, and I hope that you benefited from my presentation. All right. All right. Thank you.
So we want to say thank you again for Mr. Zachariah Maxime from the credit department, and I know that you all are satisfied with his presentation as well. It was very interactive, and I like that myself. And remember, like he said, budgeting is important. When you budget, you know, you can, if unexpected medical situation comes up, you have that money so that you can pay for your visit, your doctor visit, your medication, and also have an emergency fund. So right now we know that most of you all are interested in mobile banking. That's NBD's online application. So Mr. Jabari Benjamin from the marketing department is going to touch on mobile banking. So let's welcome him.
Good morning, everyone. As Mariana said, my name is Jabari Benjamin, and I'll be doing a presentation on. Okay, sorry. Morning, everyone. My name is Jabari Benjamin, and I'll be doing a presentation today on our online platform, MoBanking. A brief overview of what you can do from sign up all the way down to when you're actually logging in. Okay, so your first question might be, how do you register? You can do it one of two ways. You can either come into any one of our branches where we can give you the application form. You can fill it out, and then we can provide you with your credentials. Or alternatively, you can go to our website where we have the form available online. You can download it, print it out at home, fill it out, drop it in, very same process. We will give you your credentials. If any of you do not have mobile banking, we actually have a few application forms at the back. So at the end, you may register, and we can reach out to you to assist. Okay, so I have a brief video which more or less showcases everything, and then I'll go further in depth. There's no audio. Okay, apparently there's no audio, but it more or less shows you exactly everything, and then I'll go further in depth. Okay, so at a glance, when you log into MoBanking, you will see all your accounts. You see all your accounts, you see your account numbers, your current and available balance. If you have credit card accounts, loans, etc., everything will be listed there. If, for instance, you'd like to go see your transactions, you can just tap on any of your accounts. It'll pull up your transactions as far as 90 days or 180 days, depending on how long you like the transactions for. Pardon? Okay, no problem. You want to? I can go over. Sure. Okay, perfect. Okay. All right. So I was saying that this is just at a glance when you log in. You can't see it? Fine? Okay. Okay, I was saying that this is more or less the view when you log in. Oh. Turn the light on? Okay. Turn the light on. I think it might be a little better.
Yeah, that's better.
Okay, perfect. So I was saying that is the view at a glance when you log in. It gives you a listing of all your accounts, be it savings account, checking account, credit cards, loans. You will see everything there. You'd see your account numbers, your current and available balance, your balances on your loans, your credit cards, etc. And you can always go into the account and pull up your transactions. So if you want to print a statement, you can just tap in and download the statement. Go to the next slide. Next slide. Good. Okay. So our general payments tab is where you can do most of your transactions. Our payments tab is where you can do most of the transactions. So we have top up. You can top up your phone and mobile banking. We have payments where you can pay merchants such as Domlec, Dowasco, Digicel, Lime, etc. Right, you can pay your bills there, as well as pay a payer. So, yeah. So let's say someone is doing work for you. If they have a banking account, a national bank account, sorry, you could add them as a pay, and you can pay them like that. You don't have to write them a check. You don't have to give them cash. It goes straight to the account. Next slide. Okay, so this is just an overview of the listing of merchants. So as you see, we have Digital Play, Domlec, Doasco, just to name a few. We have a long list of merchants, but this is more or less just a brief listing of our merchants that we have available that you can pay.
Can I ask something at this point? You have to pay merchants there. If I need to pay a private individual, what do I do?
So then you can add them as a peer.
Sorry?
You can add them as a peer.
Payer.
A peer. P-E-R.
So that's actually an option.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. If
So
she,
what are you asking?
I'm asking pay merchant there. I have to pay you as a private individual. What do I touch or
the peer.
Okay, so she's asking, she know that there are a list of options to pay businesses, but what if she wants to pay me? So for example, she wants me to purchase groceries in town for her. So then she would, Jabba will explain further in terms of she adding me as a payer and the information that is required to transfer funds to me.
Right, so that's on the next step. Yeah. Okay, but zoom out a bit. Zoom out a bit. No, go back. Okay, so this screen is essentially to transfer between your accounts. So if you have two savings accounts or a savings and a checking account, you can, for instance, transfer to your savings account. If you want to write a check that you don't have funds on the checking account to cover, you can just transfer, write your check, issue it to the merchant, and that will cover that. You can also schedule it. So if you need to make a specific transaction at, let's say, the 15th of every month, so let's say you have to pay someone at that date, you can schedule the transfer to go through from your savings to your checking account. So it occurs every month, and then you can issue that person a check. So you can have it monthly, weekly, or as a one-time payment.
But if it, right, I was just going to ask, if it's a one-time payment to you, how do I go about that?
So go back. So as you see, this screen, that is optional. So you don't have to. So if you leave out the scheduling option, it goes through right away.
Okay. All right. What I guess she's saying to, okay, there's this thing to transaction, or whatever they call it. So like for the, or should I lost my phone? Okay. This is the whatever that's on the radio phone is on for the old age thing. So if I would like to send $50 to the radio phone, but I would like you all to take, I would like them to take it from my account. How do I go about that?
Okay, so you can do one of two things. They can provide you with their information to be added as a peer, which I'll cover shortly, and then you can make the payment to them. You can write them a check if you choose to do so, but you can, the peer payment, I'll show it to you shortly.
But you want me to take over?
It's up to you. Hello.
Because your voice is very low. I can't hear.
Next one is top
Which
up.
one?
Next is top up.
Okay, let me go.
Look, no, this.
Okay. So we spoke about the transfer of funds to payers.
No, transfer between accounts.
Okay, so with Mo Banking, we have the online top-up feature. So you don't have to go to the supermarket or the shop to top up your phone. With Mo Banking, you just enter your information, either digital or flow, and you top up your phone online. Any questions?
Yes.
No, sorry.
No. I prefer to go out.
You prefer to go out to top up your phone. Why is that?
Because I started looking at the LB for years, and we were always talking about training to get people out. You know, get them to exercise. With what you're providing there. It means we're just sitting at home doing things online, you know, and not exercising. Our heart needs to move.
While I understand that, you are correct, but sometimes at night you want to call your child to remind. Oh, at night sometimes you want. No, but sometimes last minute you're on the phone talking to a friend of yours and you say, "Oh my God, I have to call my daughter to remind her of something." You understand?
Just like you prepare for the budget, prepare for the...
But then sometimes it's not all the time you can prepare for situations like that. So whenever you have more banking, you say, "Oh my God, oh, I can top up online," because sometimes the credit, you stay longer than expected on the phone with a family member. So if you have the convenience of more banking, you can just top up your phone one time.
That we can show how to get
transfer money from one country to the next.
How we would enter more banking, how we would know how much we have, and just how to get into the system.
Okay, yes, we will.
But this is like
yes, no problem. Yes, I will. I will address it. Do you have a question?
No, I was just going to say that, I mean, the bank is describing all the features of the system. And you, if you are on, you use the features that suit you, that are convenient for you. You don't have to use all the features.
That's correct.
Right?
That's
so
correct.
you take the features that are suitable to you, those that you want to use, for your convenience.
Yes, and all of them will be available to you. You understand? So you just use whichever one. As she said, it's convenient.
Yeah.
Okay. So can you all see the screen? Okay. So right there, from account, that's where you select your account. So sometimes you have 4 or 5 accounts. You can just select whichever account you want, and the recipient, you enter your number right there, your cell number. The our area code is there already, so you don't have to enter it. So you can, and not only your phone, if you have a daughter in, for example, Antigua, you can also top up a phone. So it's not just locally, it's regionally as well. Okay, so your daughter is studying in Barbados and your granddaughter, and she said, "Granny, you can top up my phone for me because you know I'm not getting mommy." So you can top her up as well. Okay? Yes. And for the mobile operator, that's where you choose either Digicel or Flow. And then you put in your amount and then you just submit. And that's it. You get a message on your phone saying that you received $50, $20 top up. So that's how easy and convenient it is. Okay? Yes.
Apart from the payment merchants, there is an area where I can type your name in. Do I have to type you in? Do I have to put you in?
No, okay, so I'm going to touch on that right now.
Oh,
so you have to
okay.
add a peer. Okay, so what's your name? A peer. So what's your name?
That's the heading. That's the heading.
I'm going to show it to you. So what's your name?
Angela.
So Miss Angela asked, how can she, if she wants to send money to me, how can she do that? So I'm going to show you all right now. Okay, so you all are saying, "Oh, I want to know how to use more banking." So on YouTube, I'm not sure if you all are familiar with YouTube. How many of you all are familiar with YouTube? Wonderful. So National Bank of Dominica, we have a YouTube page, and the videos for more banking are all there. So if you want to add a peer, that is, if you want to pay me, so a peer is considered an individual, so I can be added as a peer. If you want to pay a merchant, if you want to add a merchant, you can just go on our YouTube page and all the videos are there. Okay? That's which one, Jabari? So this is how to add a peer. You all can see the screen properly? Yes. All right, nice. Okay, so first you have to enter your user ID and password before you can enter the app. Okay, so you select payments and pay a peer. So you select manage right there, and then add the peer. So you enter pause it, Jabari. Go back, Jabari, to pause it. Okay. So here, so that's when you click add a peer, it's going to take you to that screen. So you would need your mobile ID, and the bank would have presented you with your mobile ID when you sign up for mobile banking. So that information is important when you have to add a peer. Okay? So peer's nickname, that is my nickname. So for example, my name is Mariana Luge Alexander. When you enter in my name, you cannot put spaces. So Mariana space Luge, no, you just have to put one word. Okay? Then the peer's mobile ID, you also need my mobile ID in order to add me as a peer to pay me. Okay, so you have to ensure that you have the correct information. So most time, the mobile ID might be my telephone number, but you have to ensure that you have the right mobile ID. If you don't have the right mobile ID, then you are going to get an error. Okay, then the peer's account number, you also need my account number to add me as a peer. So if you have the correct mobile ID and you have the wrong account number, I won't be added as a peer. So it will give you an error as well. So you need the correct mobile ID for me, my account number, and also your mobile ID is important, and they have to be correct. Okay? So for example, there's a 5 in my account number and you put a 6 instead. It's going to give you an error, so you won't be able to add me as a peer. Okay, and reference whatever you are paying for. So sometimes I put my name because I might be selling food, right? And I just put food. The person might not know it's me, paying for the food. So you can just put Mariana Food. You understand? So the person will know that I'm the one paying for my food. Okay? So then after you enter all the information, you click create. You can continue. So that's it right there. Okay, so that's all the information. And you click create and submit. So now I have been added as a peer. So in order to pay me, so that's just one step of, the process of paying someone. So after you add me as a peer, now you are going to make the payment. Okay? So I realized we need a special workshop for mobile banking just to focus on mobile banking, to teach you all when you all sign up for mobile banking, to just give you all hands-on training. But this forum is not enough time to explain all the features on mobile banking and to give all, step-by-step information. All right? So for example, you are going to pay me, you select my account. Go a little slower. So we'll have to arrange a special workshop for mobile banking for you all. Okay? So we have to do hands-on training for you all. Okay, so we'll arrange a special workshop on mobile banking for our seniors. Okay? All right, wonderful. So, like Jabari was saying, I'll just explain what you can do on mobile banking. So you can top up your phones, you can pay your bills, for example, your Flow, your Digicel, your water bill, your if you want to shop at Fine Foods, you can pay Fine Foods. Just in case you want somebody to pick up the items at Fine Foods or Astafans, you can pay in advance and you can send a screenshot of your payment to the person, whoever is picking up for you, and they can just go and collect, okay? You can also pay your loans on mobile banking. You don't have to come into the branch. For example, it's raining or you have a taxi and he's not able to come and pick you up today, and your loan payment is due or your credit card payment is due today. You just pay online, okay? That's how convenient mobile banking is. And I mentioned top up as well. You can also schedule loan payments. So for example, if like I was doing scheduled payment for my DOASCO bill. For example, I would just say, send $50. If I know my water bill is $40, I was just sending $50 or a little more until I had a credit of $600 because I was basically overpaying, but that's good. So right now I don't have to pay water bill until December. So that's the convenience of mobile banking. Okay, and if you want to send money to your granddaughter who is studying in maybe any Caribbean country, well, in the Caribbean, so it can be regionally or internationally. So regionally, we have electronic funds transfer, so you don't have to go to Western Union to send funds. You understand? Because based on the amount you send, and I know when you go to Western Union, there's a range or something like that. With mobile banking, it only costs you $3 to transfer that fund. So you see how much you are saving. You don't have to pay bills, and you don't have to pay all the fees associated with sending money if you use MoneyGram or Western Union. Okay? And with you, for internationally, you also have the wire transfer option as well. But that's for another day because you all have to process the information, and it's really a hands-on exercise for you all. Okay? All right. What else? Okay. Mm-hmm. Yes?
Teaching lesson, explanation on mobile banking.
On mobile, well, house. Okay, so we have to arrange it with the as soon as possible. So we have a month of activities this month for seniors month. So we can plan it for next month. What do you all think? Next month is a good time. Oh. No, it's financial planning. So we were focusing on different aspects of financial planning. Okay. Yes. Yes. So we'll have a workshop on mobile banking. Today is a workshop on financial planning. Okay?
But next month, Mariano, it's independent.
Oh, it might be a busy month as well, Right? So let's see how soon we can get that done. Okay? Yes.
September is finished.
Yes. So let's see how soon we will work with Dominica Council on Aging. Maybe she can, arrange a date and time for you all that is convenient for both you all and NBD. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So that's the plan.
Yeah.
Okay. Wonderful. Because I know you all are interested in mobile banking.
And you're
so we
responsible for that plan.
Yes, I am responsible for that plan. Okay. So if you're thinking about security, how safe my money is, mobile banking is very secured. For example, when you log into a device for the first time, you are going to get a code. Okay, and you can also set up alerts on mobile banking. So whenever you receive funds on your account, you will get a text message saying, okay, you have received $50. Or if money is debited from your account, that means removed from your account, you will get an alert saying that $50 has been removed from your account. So that's how secure it is. So whenever any transaction occurs on your account, you will get a notification. For example, you say, hey, but $100 came out from my account. I'm not aware of that. You immediately call National Bank and they will investigate it. They can put a hold on your account and will investigate it. Mobile banking is very secure and you don't have anything to fear. Okay? Yeah, so we currently we put a system in place to address this issue, and we are working further on it to improve our service. But we are doing well so far, if I can say that. But thank you for that. We appreciate it. Let me just where's my phone?
Mariana,
It's fine.
I just want to know, did the age get organize with regard to who can go in the special senior line?
In terms of the signage?
The age.
Or the age? Yes, if you're 60, from 60 and above, yes, you can come in the seniors line. But the signage still stays 70. Yes, you are right. So we are working on the signage. Okay, Mrs. Murray told me about it, and she said Mariana's 60. Senior starts from 60 years. So you better fix it, and I'll come into the branch and I will look at that signage. So yes, we are working on it. I appreciate you. Yes. Once the teller goes to lunch. So if no, it shouldn't be closed. It happens. Okay, so we'll address it, but it shouldn't be closed. Okay. Well, seniors, as Mrs. Murray said, and it came from Mrs. Ophelia Murray, it starts at 60 years. So I'm taking her word. Okay, all right then. Just my phone. What else I have to address? Okay.
I can tell you I used to go before I was 60 and they still ask me what I don't need that line. And I used to say, I'm practicing. But some people don't want people to know that they're there. Yes.
Okay. Okay, so in terms of mobile banking, like I said, we'll arrange for us another day for us to give hands-on training. We'll have our staff to help each and yes, one-on-one with you all. And as I said, we'll work with Dominica Council on Aging. So, any more questions?
Yes. Why is it changed, or is it still the same thing that we'll only get $200 from your AFC?
200? No, it's $1,000.
$1,000?
Yes, up to $1,000 daily.
And are all the cards working? Because when I got my card, I couldn't get money from the machine.
All the cards are working. If you have an issue with your card, you need to visit us. Okay?
I had an issue with my card, and they told me I had to wait a month.
A month?
So I could get a new card.
Okay, so you got your card already?
No,
Okay, so I'll take your information and I'll follow up for you, okay? Okay, any more questions?
When will the ATM start working?
Start working?
The ATM, because it's down for months now.
No, all our ATMs are up.
The one at the Bayfront?
Oh, the one at the Bayfront. Okay, so we are currently working on it right now, but there are other ATMs available around town. You know, we have WeChurch. Yes, but we are working on the ATM at our Bayfront branch. Okay? Any more questions?
With the lines, you just have one cashier. But what happens is like you have one customer who can take like forever. You know?
Yes.
So I was suggesting if you couldn't have at least 2 cashiers for that line. Because I have brought it up at AGM several times. And at that time they say, okay, we'll work on it, but they haven't started working on it.
Okay, but
so if we could have an option of another cashier.
okay. All right, but normally I know if one customer has a long transaction, the teller next to the seniors line should accommodate the seniors. Sometimes they do. Yes. Okay.
Other things I'm pushing, when I go there, I say, why are you coming there?
Okay, all right. Well, thank you for that. We will address this, okay? All right, but thank you. All right, so we have come to an, excuse me? Yes, okay, yes. Okay, so we have come to an end of our the end of our financial workshop. We want to thank you all for coming here today. We appreciate you all, and we look forward to the rest of the activities with our seniors for the month. I think Friday we will be in Portsmouth, health check. So if you have any seniors friend who lives in Portsmouth and environment, you can let them know that we'll be at our Portsmouth branch giving free glucose testing and blood pressure testing, so they can come on down to Portsmouth branch from 9 to 12:30 this Friday. And not forgetting, remember Mr. Hillier spoke on wheels. So next Monday, we'll have a session on DBS Radio from 11 o'clock, hosted by Mrs. Ophelia Murray. So please tune in to DBS Radio on next week, Monday. Okay, so thank you so much. And NBD appreciates our seniors, and we take your feedback very seriously, and we'll try our best to address all your issues. So thank you again. Most welcome. All right.
This concludes Emonews Live Feed with National Bank of Dominica Financial Planning Workshop for Seniors. To have a blessed day.